Morning, guys. Yeah, we're having a little kind of an odd outing, so I've got to go back to my hometown, and I haven't been there for probably nigh on 15 years. I've got to go back for some personal reasons to support a friend, so I won't be kind of doing any information about that. I've got to go back there and sort that out. But while we're there, we're going to kind of use it as a bit of a, I don't know really, an opportunity to have a look around. I mean, it's garnered some some publicity, whether that's good or bad. So for those of you who don't know, I actually come from a little town called Barrow-in-Furness originally, which is over in the Lake District. It's about 3.5 hours away from here. And I left Barrow when I was in my very early 20s because I no longer wanted to live there. I didn't like the town. I didn't like anything about it. It was boring. It was run down then, and it's even worse now, from what I understand. And Guy did a recent video on it, where he went around the town. He goes around that kind of the roughest towns in Britain, and he's labelled it as the saddest town in the UK. So I'm quite intrigued. Now, from what I've seen on his video, I'm not going to disagree with the guy. Like I said, I am from that town. I was born and raised in that town up until my early 20s. And I would have to agree. And I think most of my family would have to agree. I think the people are nice enough, but there's issues in the town as well. So I think that's not explained within that video either. Go down, or go up rather. Everything is bloody down to Northerners. We're going to go up, have a drive around, go down a bit of a kind of memory lane type scenario, and see where we get to. And then Saturday I am off over to my mum's, and I'm going to collect the cladding for the back of the van over in Yorkshire. So yeah, up and then kind of across. So yeah, busy kind of few days for me. It's Thursday now, and then I'll be back here at home on Monday. So the following week I should get some ply lining done in the van, really. Get some more stuff, well, not the ply lining, but get some of the actual final cladding on and some of the final electrics fitting. So yeah, happy days. It is bloody freezing. It is -1. I thought we were done with the frost because we've just had a couple of days where there's been no frost at all for 2 days, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's just hit and it's bloody freezing. So yeah, I'm going to warm up the van. I'm going to get off. We're going in Delilah, the new van. The T4 has just been an absolute pain in the ass during this weather. It doesn't start. Handbrake's freezing on. You know, it's just ridiculous. So I can't even use the T4 currently because it's just not reliable. Whereas this fires up first thing, and this will be its first very long run out that it's had since I bought it. So yeah, happy days. Catch you in a bit. Alright there, folks. Well, we are... I'm not really sure where we are. We're at service station on the M6. I'm not sure of the name of the service station, actually. I don't know whether it's like Charnock Richards, I think. Yeah, Charnock North. We're at Charnock North. So yeah, we've got about 2.5 hours apparently still left. It's a long bloody old trek up there. I hated going back home when when family still lived up there, because it was a stupid long drag up there, 3.5 hours, and I think over an hour of that is off the motorway as well, because Barra itself, and I joke about this, is the longest road to a cul-de-sac in Europe, more than likely. And that's what we always used to say, and I think it's probably true, because you can't pass through Barra on your way to somewhere else. You have to go into Barrow and out of Barrow, and then you can go other places. But yeah, it's at least an hour, if not an hour 20, away from the nearest motorway. So yeah, you was way out when I was younger, and there's just one of the many reasons why I moved. So I've just stopped to get myself a brew. The van's been great, actually. It's been an absolute lovely drive. This, because I have a bouncy seat. I have one of these kind of hydraulic, pneumatic, whatever they are, seats, bases on this. It's exceedingly comfy. It's very nice to drive. It's nice to be able to go over 60 miles an hour and actually go up hills at more than 60 miles an hour, or more than bloody 40 miles an hour in some cases. And the T4 was just ridiculous. So yeah, bit of a long old journey ahead of us yet. Not a lot to say. Yeah, catch you when I'm there. Show you some sights.
What's town? She rattled off the address. We got here about 5 or 10 past 5. Yasmin continued. The others nodded. All right, Hope murmured.
Alright, so we're down on the A590 now, which is this god-awfully long road to where I come from. And it's interesting, because it's like all the time I was growing up around in Barra, the A590 was always the most dangerous road that was there. And there was a lot of accidents, there were a lot of car crashes there. But it always tended to be young guys, young lads, and visitors to the area that seemed to crash on these roads. And I was always of the mind that, people drove too fast and they just didn't know the road. I don't think any road is particularly dangerous as such, like kind of media and everything wants to make out to sensationalise it. But it's about people's abilities, isn't it? And we all know as a young lad, you like speed, you get your licence and what have you. So yeah, it's actually a very pleasant road. It's very long, it's very kind of straight, more or less, which again adds to that kind of speed factor. In the later years, they've stuffed in a lot of 60 mile per hour cameras down here, so you are limited to a 60 mile per hour on this section of road, which is fine. I'm happy trundling along at that as well. But it's gorgeous down here. It's one of the many things that I miss about kind of living in this area, is about how beautiful this kind of drive actually is. Barra didn't have nothing really to offer, and I'll show you that when we get there. But sort of just outside of Barrow, this section, this middle ground where everybody kind of seems to forget and they favour the Lake District. This is really one of the nicer areas, I would say. I hate Windermere. I hate that kind of side of the Lake District. I would prefer the Western Lakes because of the tourists. You just don't get that over here. It's very quiet, very pleasant. It's just very nice. So yeah, enjoy the driving footage. Right. Well, we're down kind of at our first stop, and this is Bardsey. Let me turn around. Sonny's on the camera. Yeah, so this is Bardsey, and we used to come down here like lots when we were kids. This was our kind of like here. We used to come down here. We used to go swimming off here and everything, and you can walk quite a good distance out there. Of course, when this tide's out, you can walk all the way across the Morecambe, but you don't want to do that unless you're going with somebody who actually knows the tides, because, well, you'll just die. But yeah, fantastic. It's beautiful. It's like, it's so weird being back here and coming somewhere like this and like remembering everything and where we used to go. And across the road here, over there, Hartley's, that used to be our ice cream place. So we used to come down here. I always used to get a mink choc chip from Hartley's and get an ice cream down there. But it's absolutely glorious down here, and it's weird because it's like down this area, it's always hard to say that it's nice weather, because when it's horrible down here, it is horrible, and it is a mean bit of coastal kind of road. But actually today it's really gorgeous. So yeah. So we have Ulverston is that way basically. We're going to keep going along that way there. Up above here is Birkrigg Common. And basically directly across there is Morecambe Bay. But it's absolutely lovely, isn't it? It's absolutely glorious. Wow. Yeah, to think of all the times we came down here and we went swimming. I mean, I never learned to swim in a swimming pool. I learned to swim in the sea, and the lakes basically is where I learned to swim. And I used to be a very good and a very strong swimmer. Back in the day when I used to do swimming a lot, I could easily swim across, sort of halfway across Windermere in my younger days. It was very, very good. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. And there's a beautiful kind of mist or a fog just hanging over kind of Morecambe Bay side. So I'm going to take a few pictures and we're going to head further down the coast road. Maybe take you where I used to work, actually, what led me into nursing. All the way back down here into sort of the Rysdale Estates, or St Cuthbert's, which is down here on one of the sort of prominent. So yeah, happy days. Yeah, we're just coming into the little village of Aldingham down on the coast road between Bower and Ulverston. And Aldingham Manor, yeah, or Aldingham Hall, is where I used to work. So this is Rysdale, owned by Rysdale Estates Care Home Group, and this is where I first got into kind of care work. It's an old people's home. Oh, it's narrow here, isn't it? Narrow here. Ah, we're good. Yeah. So this is Rysdale Homes. Which feels weird. God, the amount of times I used to come down here. I used to drive down here. All the way from Barra, use the coast road. And spend a lot of time down here, kind of on the seaside here. On our breaks, used to get out on our breaks and just sit down here on the beach and just have a wander. Beautiful place though, beautiful place. But when you used to do nights here, when you used to do nights here, it was bloody frightening because it was absolutely pitch black. There's no natural lighting. And then there was occasion where we used to have, we had a big problem with cockle pickers, right? So people might remember this tale many moons ago, where there was a load of cockle pickers on the bay over Morecambe side, and they unfortunately, I'm not sure how they died, they drowned. But we used to have our own issues on this side, and you used to have them sleeping out in these toilets here, and they would come up. There was more than one occasion where they would come up there and they'd be banging on the windows and they'd be wanting food, and they would turn up at the windows in the night times and stuff. Yeah, it wasn't a very good kind of. It went on for a couple of months until the police got involved. But yeah, not a particularly great time there. But yeah, beautiful place down here, and we'll carry on down the course road now. Yeah, so I don't know if the GoPro picked it up on my way down here, but I was saying we're down at, this is Roe Island basically, that you've just seen in the footage. And I mean, this was another regular haunt when we were kids. We used to come down the old rail line, and the rail line stretched from Barra up to here, and it basically ran along the kind of the edge of the course there, off to over that side. And we would often just come down here. This was our days off. I say days off, but this is what we did as kids. This is what we did as kids for fun. None of this sitting in the house on your phone and messing around with all that bloody nonsense. It was out and about and doing stuff and experiencing life, really, as it was meant to be. So yeah, it's nice. We're on Roe Island, and of course you've got Peel Island across the way there, which has its own kind of history and myths and tales and things attached to it. And I don't know whether they still do it, but they used to crown the new king of the castle every so often. But I'll do a little piece about that. Can't go over. There's no ferry today. There's a pub over there. There's some houses. You can actually stop over there, and I've seen videos of people camping in the kind of the castle basically. So yeah, it's an interesting place. We used to come down as kids as well and watch the submarine from the dockyards. Or it was like BSEL or Vickers in my day, but I think it's BAE Systems now. Still make stuff. They still do stuff, but unfortunately they kind of have. Well, they refuse to let them do a lot, even though they've got such a big, long history of shipbuilding here. And then they found it out a lot to kind of Scottish. They got rid of a lot of the original workers, brought in a lot of Scottish people from up the Clyde and places. And or as well as the Clyde, should I say. So not a very good move on their part. But yeah, back in the heyday, Barrow was massive on its shipbuilding, and that's what it's built on the back of, basically. It is a working class town. It is massively working class. I think in one poll, once it was voted as the most working class place in Britain. And I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. But like a lot of northern towns, it's just felt the pressure of time and life, and it's kind of itself has refused to move forward, I think. It's not very forward thinking. People want to kind of remain how it is. I mean, people are nice enough, from what I remember. But it's just particularly kind of run down a lot in a lot of areas. So I'm going to have a bit of lunch, and then we're going to head off into Barrow properly, and just have a little drive around, really, and see what's there. Happy days. So yeah, we're down at we're currently down over Walney now. This is another area where we used to come as kids. I don't know if you can see it, but way off in the background over there is Black Combe. So that's kind of, you carry on, that's the sort of west coast of the Lake District, where you've got Whitehaven and places like that. It's much nicer up there. I know it looks weirdly gorgeous here, and I've always kind of put Barrow down, but I do miss I do miss the seaside. I do miss it. Yeah, we used to come here a lot. Swim down there as well. It looks very pebbly at the moment, but once the tide goes out, it's actually quite sandy. So yeah, it's a very nice place. Come down here, walk down here, sit down here, swim down here, picnics, days out. Yeah, it's a happy childhood. I can't complain at all. I mean, I grew up in a very kind of deprived area, and I think by today's standards we were below the poverty line. But we were always fed, we were always clothed, we were always happy. There wasn't a lot of free money around. But that's okay, because you don't really need that, do you? As long as you've got parents who love you, and friends and family, and that's about it, really. But yeah, kind of asked for a better childhood, really. I had a lot of experiences growing up, a lot of things. It allowed me to do a lot of things around here, so yeah. We go and get a cup of tea, I think, now.